get into this, it was all a mistake. And it was almost exactly 10 years now that I became Miss Hong Kong. This all started happening. It was just this glamorous life. I was born in Hong Kong, moved to Edmonton when I was 6. I'd finished university. I was doing like several part-time jobs. I did some backpacking, 3 months of backpacking in Asia. And all of a sudden, I was about to go into my master's in journalism. And I thought, before I get really serious about my life, I'm gonna do something crazy. And oddly enough, that's the thing that affected the rest of my life.
I was born and raised in Montreal. My parents are, half Chinese, half Vietnamese, and very traditional. I was studying business marketing and tourism because I always wanted to open a spa one day or travel around the world. I was discovered by this woman. She saw me going to her office and she said, "Oh, you, come here. I want you to participate in the Miss Chinese Montreal." This is really daring, isn't it? Coming from someone who just thought that I'm gonna probably spend the rest of my life in Canada, and now it's just like this whole celebrity and movie and glam thing happening. And till this day, and I'm like so very grateful for that little twist of fate.
Christy Chung and Theresa Lee, two Canadian girls who made it big in Asia after winning a beauty pageant few outside the Asian community have probably ever heard of. In Hong Kong, beauty pageants are big business, broadcast to millions of Asian viewers worldwide. Winners become overnight sensations and are given the opportunity to become the next big thing. In the past 10 years, more than half of the finalists from Miss Chinese International have come from North America. In the past 4 years, 3 of the winners have all come from one place, Canada. But why?
Maybe Vancouver has more prettier girls, I don't know.
People grow up to be beautiful here, I guess.
Innocence, or it's not like polluted beauty, not like fake kind of thing.
We're Canadian girls. And I don't want to say, we're probably raised a little bit more nicer. No offense.
In order to enter the international pageant, contestants around the world must first win the crown in their own city. One of the most successful North American Miss Chinese pageants is held each December in Vancouver. Canada's national Chinese language broadcaster Fairchild Television has transformed this once small-scale Chinatown pageant into a must-see 3-hour charity gala event.
Thank you. $80,000. We're at $80,000.
Featuring Chinese celebrities, Vancouver bigwigs, family and friends.
For the past 4 years that I've been involved in the pageant, 3 of our contestants won the Miss Chinese International, the first place. Our pageant is like 90% similar to the Miss Chinese International. It's very well organized, so girls with good quality, with well education, and with that intelligence, they have the confidence in us. So that's why we can select, better quality girls, prettier girls, and send back to Hong Kong. So that's why we have a great chance.
I always wanted to enter one of these pageants and stuff because I always watch Miss Hong Kong, Miss Vancouver, Miss Toronto, and I don't know, I always loved performing as well.
I just graduated in May, so I just want a new experience. Be adventurous, try something new.
Since I was a kid, I've always followed my mom and my dad's plan. And this is something that to surprise them and surprise my friends.
My main objective was to broaden my social circle and further experience and help to build more confidence.
I've always been teaching the girl to be very confident. and to believe in themselves that they can do it on stage, they can speak publicly on stage, and they can smile and talk to the camera, and they can make it.
In 1993, Christy Chung launched her career by winning the Miss Chinese International pageant. She has since starred in over 30 feature films and was voted Asia's sexiest woman in the year 2000. Christy got her start when she was discovered for the local Montreal pageant.
They say, well, you have to, you know, just parade like a fashion show and just answer some questions. I said, but I don't speak Cantonese, I don't speak Chinese. It's okay, it doesn't matter because we can, you know, ask the questions in English. All you have to do is answer in English. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, because, you know, coming from, I don't know how to wear high heels and stuff like that, I said to myself, this might be fun, this could be fun. Why not just give it a try?
Miss Montreal.
Never thought I would win the pageant, and never thought in a million years that it would send me to Hong Kong. I said to myself that, wow, this could be fun to experience a new culture and a new country. Basically, when I came here, I didn't think about the contest at all. I was just very happy to see Hong Kong. I've never seen so many Rolls Royce and bands and people. It was people just everywhere. I was just like a girl in a candy shop.
Born in Hong Kong and raised in Edmonton, Theresa Lee was eligible to enter the Miss Hong Kong pageant, a paparazzi-fueled event that rivals the international pageant as a star-making machine. A celebrity in Asia for her starring roles in film and television, Theresa lives a comparatively anonymous life at her home in Sun Peaks, a ski resort in British Columbia.
When I was like 13 and maybe 20 or so, I went back to Hong Kong a couple times just for visits, like family visits and things, and my relatives would joke about it, would say, oh, Theresa, you know, you're pretty, you should go into Miss Hong Kong. I thought the pageant was tacky because I saw flashes of it on screen. I didn't really understand what was going on, and I was just like, oh, that's horrible that they make these girls do these glitzy, stupid things. You know, it was just kind of a laugh that my relatives suggested that I do this. I just thought, you know what, I really need to do something wild with my life before I get really serious about my master's. I ended up entering the Miss Hong Kong pageant, and I have no idea what I was thinking.
In the spirit of a game show, it's all about putting the contestants under pressure by seeing how well they will perform in the spotlight.
I can remember it was like yesterday, and I was very, very nervous because I couldn't speak Cantonese.
聽講你廣東話咧就唔係好識聽嘅。
Excuse me?
唔使 QQ。
I have no idea what they're talking about. You know, that night I said to myself, okay, I'm here just to have fun, just try not to fall in my high heels, okay? So I remember, you know, this Eric Tan, he's an MC. Oh, he was so hard on me because he was asking those questions and all that I can do is smile. But he said something, the audience they were laughing, ha ha ha. I was like, okay, just smile, just pretend that you don't know anything, just keep on smiling. I'm embarrassed now.
Okay. Multiple choice.
Ready, fire!
It's not like Miss Canada or Miss US that we watch. You know, you see girls, you know, they win college scholarships and things like that. Miss Hong Kong is nothing like that. It's run by TVB Hong Kong, very commercially driven. It's like Star Search, and I had no idea.
2號李依紅芳齡24歲，身高5尺7寸。
I was very nervous about telling my father because I was really worried that he was going to think that I was this sissy, you know, prissy little thing that entered beauty pageants, and I really thought he'd be upset because he didn't even like me wearing makeup as I was growing up. I I was a bit more mature than a lot of the girls who are 18 or 17 when they do this. And it was really a gag. Like, it was meant to just be this silly thing that I did in my life that I'd look back on with my grandchildren and say, look what I did.
李以紅小姐，芳齡24歲，身高5尺6寸，體重110
My Cantonese level kind of stuck at 6 years old. So I was this 24-year-old woman in a bikini standing on stage talking like a 6-year-old.
豬欄
咩話？
豬欄啊，攞嚟裝豬嘅地方。
哦，佢要喺嗰度顧住個豬欄。
哦，坐監就要顧住個豬欄。開農場嘅。哦，慘啦真係。
One of my favorite stories is they asked, are you hoping to meet the 4 gods? And which are these 4 cantopop singers? I thought they were talking about like these 4 gods of Buddhism or something. I was just like, oh, well, you know, I'm Catholic, so I don't really understand all that stuff. And they just thought I was hilarious.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present you the winner of this year's Miss Chinese International.
When they called my name, it was very funny because I was like in slow motion. It's like, and the winner is
Miss Zhou Win 2.
I didn't understand at first because it was in Cantonese. This girl, Miss Philippine, just kind of like, hey, you just call your name, you just won. So I said, what, I won? And it was just, everything just stopped and I couldn't believe it. And I won the pageant.
Miss Hong Kong 1994.
When we were down to 5 girls, I just knew.
Second running up.
I had a feeling that I wouldn't win, though. Everybody else was all teary and emotional and everything. I was just like, great. So it wasn't the crown for me. It was really about the performance of the evening, and I knew I gave that, and that's what mattered to me more than anything.
Hoping to make it big in Hong Kong, like exported stars Theresa and Christy, contestants around the world must first enter their local Miss Chinese pageant. From the more than 100 applicants who apply each year to the highly competitive Miss Chinese Vancouver, only 10 are selected.
All the contestants have to undergo a 2-month training process and grooming process. And we, our team of professionals, we provide them with catwalk training and skincare consultation, teeth whitening, and fitness. And we also have our image director to redesign the image. And also we arrange a lot of promotional activities for them, like the press conference, photo contest. The delegates from other cities, they're more westernized. Whereas the girls from Canada, regardless of whether she's from Toronto or from Vancouver, she's sort of like an East meets West kind of girl. Like Linda. She's very good at English and in Chinese as well. Her families are from China. But then when she went to school, she speaks good English and she mingled with Caucasian here. So that's why the audience in Hong Kong, they feel closer to Canadian girls.
Hong Kong celebrity Lam Ka-wah has hosted the Miss Chinese Vancouver pageant since the early 90s.
點解咁受歡迎咧？呢班女仔喺，尤其是加拿大添喎。
呢個就係由於加拿大嘅華人社區係冇同到東南亞嘅娛樂有斷線，第一呢個係非常之大嘅原因。第二咧就係因為加拿大嗰啲女仔或者係加拿大由細一路咁長大咧，係加拿大一個多元文化嘅城市，佢哋係習慣咗同唔同文化嘅人溝通。
I started to learn Chinese when I was 5 years old at my elementary school, and then I continued until I was in grade 10 and I couldn't keep up with my own schoolwork, so I ended it after. But I kept on reading Chinese newspapers and watching Chinese television, so I guess that's where that's where I learned my Chinese from.
Linda，唔該。
Hello，Linda 你好。
大家好，兩位司儀你哋好。
你好。
One of the highlights of the evening is the notorious Q&A segment, where the hosts set up the contestants with potentially embarrassing questions.
Mr. Gary Law, Auxiliary Constable of the RCMP.
喂，羅 Sir，
哇，最細龜撲上嚟喎，好多 fans 啊，真係。
真係喂。
I didn't know my answer was so funny. I guess I was kind of a little bit making fun of him.
繼續啊，羅 Sir。
好啦，如果假設我要轉行，你有啲咩好提議咧？
不如你做個騎馬師啊！
騎師。
嗱，台下反應相當熱烈。
飛機。嗱，我就。冇錯啦。
We divided the girls into two groups, and half of them could dance, and half of them have to perform something with energy and vitality. Linda would like to do aerobic dance at the very beginning, but our producer suggested that maybe she can use some apparatus to help her to make it more interesting.
唔該 Linda。
I don't think I've ever seen anybody use the hula hoop before for talent. Usually it's singing or piano, but I guess I just made it something different. When I was young, I was chicken. I didn't have much confidence at the time, but I knew I could do things, but I would always not express it. I really enjoy being on stage, so I think that the audience felt the energy.
Started.
I don't know what I'm feeling right now, actually. I'm having a lot of fun.
Excited, and then sad that it's gonna be over soon.
Never believed that I could do it. Like, I always watched it, so now when I see myself on TV and I'm like Miss Vancouver 2003, I'm like, oh my God, is that me? You know, it doesn't look like me. I don't look like that.
Even before the night is over, the expectations are running high for Linda to go to Hong Kong and bring home the international crown.
Beauty, energy, and brains. She got it all.
She told us that she may go to be an actor or go into the entertainment field.
Actually, she sings quite well too. So.
She's gonna be for sure. Yay!
I feel that people in the Western Hemisphere, they tend to be a lot more open, a lot more spontaneous, outgoing, friendlier than some of the people in Hong Kong. I feel that her chances are strong. She has completely mastered her Cantonese, something that I couldn't do. And she looks like the type that's very hardworking, very dedicated to the pageant. So here's to Vancouver. Yes.
Overnight, life for Linda and the other finalists has changed. They're celebrities now in the local Chinese community, and they're filming their very first video.
It's exciting. I still can't believe it right now. Like when I see my face in the newspaper, or I'm getting all these interviews, and I have to do all these things before I go to Hong Kong.
I started getting emails from exes and getting phone calls. Don't call me. They're the ones who didn't talk to me. So then now that, you know, they see my picture on the newspaper and stuff, they're calling me. I'm like, no, don't call me.
Before this pageant, I wanted to be a psychologist. But if I have like new opportunities, I will go for it. Like if I have like opportunities to act or dance even in the entertainment business, I would love to.
I like to be flexible, but I don't think I'll be a celebrity-wise, maybe backstage or investing business-wise, because as you see today, it's very cold. It's not very easy to be a celebrity.
I'm going to be going back to school, and I'm going to pursue my pharmacy degree. But if, you know, some people call in commercials or whatever, we'll see.
I don't think I'm ready because I've been so busy after I won, and I didn't really have any time to actually rest. So it's going to be pretty hectic.
In Hong Kong, beauty pageant finalists are given the opportunity to be part of the TVB family. Like the old Hollywood studio system, artists are groomed to be rising young stars.
As soon as you win any title, you have an 18-month contract with TVB to be under their umbrella.
And that's when I really got scared. Obviously, I didn't know anybody. I couldn't speak the language. I didn't know if I was gonna make it or not, or just stay in Montreal and finish my studies. And I'm like, hello? How can I miss this opportunity?
The prizes in Miss Hong Kong, the monetary amounts are big, but the actual usefulness, like it's not cash. They don't give it to you in cash. When I first won, I'd go to markets and stuff, and I'd say, oh, those grapes are really expensive, you know, for a bunch of grapes. And all these little nasty little gossipy women in the markets would be like, oh, you're rich, you know, why the heck do you shop for yourself anyways? And I was just like, no, I'm not. And I was barely skimming by my first year.
因為佢個頭夠大，戴住個
Some producers ended up really liking me at the pageant, and I started doing a sitcom in Hong Kong at first, and then I did a series. I've had so many opportunities. Did a food show, travel show with Mr. Chow, a famous food critic. We went all over the world and we did his show, The Taste for Life. And it was kind of a rich and famous foodie kind of show. And we got to go into presidential suites all over the world. New York, Japan, do really neat things, find really awesome food and meet really interesting people, like the high life people all over the world. I hosted the Olympics in 2000 in Sydney. I've always had a very sporty image in Hong Kong. I was getting movie offers before I was even allowed outside of TVB. There's a phrase in Hong Kong called "you're a vase." You're fa zhen. So you're a girl who is decoration in these movies, and I felt that's what I would be if I took on these movie roles. So I didn't want that as my first movie.
坐低啦，你想唔想瞓低啊？
我唔使啦。
你第一次嚟呢啲地方咧。
我唔係。
I make a film called What a Wonderful World, and it's sort of a road film. The film has to be shot in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Malaysia.
嗱，你睇下我老豆幾有
I need a sort of a fresh face at that time, and Theresa Lee just came in the right time, being a perfect choice for me. With Andy Lau to carry this film, basically, we can afford to choose a less well-known actress to cope with him.
I sat down with Samson and talked about his movie, which I was a prostitute, but a very happy prostitute.
It's a happy hooker role, yeah, it's a hooker, a Singaporean hooker, but that girl need to carry a very innocent and naive touch.
The character had character. It was something that I felt that I could actually show that I could act or be of substance.
哦，你想拍嘢？嗱，你企喺度，嗱，哦，大力啲，你要我啦。
我唔係要呢啲啊。
哦 ，OK， 個個都中意 Marilyn Monroe。
What sells film these days? Let's be honest. Violence, sex. Okay, and I don't want to be known for violence, and I don't think she does too. So as a woman, her biggest strength is her sexuality, and she's comfortable in that sexuality. So if she uses it to her advantage, kudos to her. I take my hat off to her. You know, she's comfortable, good for her, and her audience like it, so why not?
I grew up knowing that if you're comfortable in your skin, then you shouldn't be shy to show it. Throughout the years that I was in Hong Kong, they kind of made me prude, made me like very conscious about not showing too much. And if you do, then you're considered a lower class of actor because you use your body and your flesh to sell yourself in the movie. But because of my background, I didn't see it that way.
You know, the thing about Christy is that it's about the art of it. That show, Jandara, for example, it was about sexual predators. It was about how a family related between one another and how they use sex to manipulate each other. And it had to be done, and she did it.
เอาเถอะอย่าตีโพยตีพายไปเลยไหนๆเธอก็เห็นฉันเกือบหมดแล้วก็มีอะไรอยากจะให้ช่วยทำสักอย่างอยู่เหมือนกันล้างเนื้อล้างตัวแล้วฟอกสบู่มือให้สะอาดด้วยนะเสร็จแล้วไปหาฉันข้างบน
They had incest, they had rape. It was like bang. It was a bit too much, and that's why it came out a little bit controversial.
To prepare for the film, Christy learned to speak Thai.
ห่วงเนื้อห่วงตัวแทนฉันเหรอพ่อจันช่วยเอาน้ำแข็งในโถนั่นลูบหลังให้ทีเถอะ
Perhaps a bigger challenge was taking on the role only months after giving birth.
When I was pregnant, obviously to me, it was just taking a break from my work. But I heard from a lot of people, oh my God, she ruined her career. That's it. It's the end of it. She's not going to be able to go back. And I say, why? And that the more you dare me, the more you defy me, I'm just going to prove you wrong. I say, why can I have a baby and still have a career and still be healthy and beautiful and maintain, you know, my level of status in the showbiz. And that's why I was very determined to show them wrong. And I said, this is very artistic, this is beautiful. And that's why I decided to take upon the role. And plus in Thailand, how can you say no working in Thailand?
I ended up in the Chinese market, of all things, doing period films. Which is a real huge turnaround because nobody ever thought of me as a period actress. Because I was considered a guimuizai, which is, you know, a westernized girl. And again, the same thing kind of made me popular in the period films is that I didn't walk like they did. I didn't talk. It's not about realism, it's about entertainment. If I spoke like a Hong Kong girl, I would have never had the popularity that I had in Hong Kong.
Christy has starred in over 24 films, TV series, and publicizing Mary Fran's body line.
都想揾個信得過嘅嚟照顧下。87年成立嘅馬花喺歐亞有68間分店，專係。
She's done so many films with so many big Hong Kong actors that it's quite difficult to name them all, actually.
Jackie Chan is fantastic. I always was a huge fan. I have an utmost respect for Jackie. I'm happy that he made it in Hollywood because he worked very hard and everybody loves him. It was a wonderful experience working with him.
Jackie Chan runs these charity races and he invites all these young actresses to race. It's really fun. My boyfriend, he came out with this theory that because we're both Canadian girls, and she grew up in Montreal and I grew up in Edmonton, that we both drove in these icy conditions, that we know how to steer through a skid or brake and, you know, react quickly to situations. Christy came in first and I came in second. And then the third one I came in first. It was just such a blast. It was so great.
The world is changing. The world is getting smaller every day. You know, with the internet, with film. I mean, you're getting Zatoichi the Blind Swordsman coming to theaters here. 5-10 years ago, you would never have seen something like that.
How many times have you been here at the Cannes Film Festival?
15 years ago now, the second time.
This is only the second time?
Yes, but exciting, but totally different. Right now, I'm so happy. At that time, I can walk by myself and nobody recognize me, but now I can. I just stay in the hotel the whole time.
Asian actors, Asian directors have now realized that their markets are not just within Japan or in Asia or in China, but it's actually an expanding world market. So now it's up to the actors to realize that and get into feature films that they can get the exposure like this.
Next year, all come to Hong Kong. We have a big party in Hong Kong next year.
There's nothing to say that an actor from Hong Kong cannot make it big in North America in feature films.
But breaking into Hollywood is not without its challenges.
I did an acting course in Vancouver quite a few years ago, before I even went to LA, to understand the auditioning process and things like that, because I had no idea what was going on in North America. Very different market. Like I said, I never auditioned in Hong Kong. Nobody auditions. I don't audition now. We sat in this room. There's, I don't know, 20 of us or whatever. And she goes, okay, any of you who aren't white males, your chances of getting a job are now down to about 20%. And then anybody who's not white at all is down to, I don't know, 2%.
He's a manipulating worm.
It wasn't Hollywood that came calling, but Canada instead.
Tell me, am I overreacting?
I do not think it is my place to comment.
Oh, what? People don't screw around in China? I can take it.
I am not from China. I am from Hong Kong.
I know.
There is a difference.
I know.
Lunch with Charles was great. It was my first English language film, and it's a Canadian film, and it was a lot of things that I could really relate to, a lot of cross-cultural kind of, I guess, quips and things like that.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Are you crazy?
That was my client!
Screw your client!
Oh my phone!
It was like a huge production for me, you know. I had, all sorts of people helping me, and there was just different standards. You had stand-ins to light you and trailers.
What are we gonna do now?
Wait, I guess. They'll probably send a helicopter or something.
You wanna wait for a helicopter?
Yeah, I've never been in a helicopter. Have you? Ow!
Mosquito!
I learned my Cantonese from my script because I have to pinyin, I have to translate phonetically, and that's how, after 10 years, I finally know how to speak Cantonese. I'm still learning, but...
Rocky!
In contrast to her bombshell image, Christy is now pursuing more demanding roles. For the film Samsara, she learned Tibetan. So how many languages does Christy now speak?
Including the language of love, 8. Oh. That right now I have an agent in North America, and then he's been sending me a lot of script. I've been reading a lot of roles, and I mean, there's a lot of roles where I felt that maybe it wasn't right for me, or maybe it wasn't time for me to shoot, because I feel that right now, even it's been open a lot since The Crouching Tiger and the Joy Luck Club, I feel that not a lot of roles are given to Asian actors and actresses, and I feel that I don't want to be... I want to give a bit more depth and a bit more intensity to the American audience about the Chinese culture, because I really feel that Chinese are not just about kung fu and martial art.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Corey and I had been seeing each other for about a year before I went to Hong Kong for the pageant. I think it did affect my career, having my boyfriend so visible with me all the time, and, you know, being seen as a very, you know, loving together couple.
We are nominated for the best couple of the century.
I didn't get the millionaires or whomever who usually prey upon the Miss Hong Kongs. I wanted people to believe that people could be true and have these kinds of relationships, even in this. I live in Hong Kong, crazy, nutty, materialistic, fast beat, lots of pressure, kind of A-type lifestyle, capitalist, you know, go, 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 very aggressive. Then I come back to Canada, and you breathe the air and the freedom and everything about it. Up on the mountain, you know, you volunteer for things to do on the ski hill. And I asked to do them. Like, I actually have to call people and say, hey, I want to do this, and volunteer to do them. As soon as I'm back in Hong Kong, I get a call on my cell phone from my assistant and said, oh, you know, there's this charity thing who wants you this weekend. And I was just like, well, what's in it for me? That's not me, it's life. It's, because if you do everything, if you give, you get sapped out way too quickly in Hong Kong. You have to kind of pace yourself. That's why the Canadian girls are so successful in Hong Kong, because we have this energy to give. And Hong Kong is a huge drain. So they see this energy and they, you know, they love it. And there's this glow about these girls, these young, attractive girls from Canada.
The pageant here in Hong Kong is much more intense. Basically, the things that we learn are the same, but it's just more hectic schedules because it's such a short time. Everybody this year is really strong delegates. What surprised me most was their quality, but they're really friendly as well, so it's really easy to get to know them, and we get along really well. We worked so hard these past 3 weeks. Something's gonna happen to, some of us, and it's gonna open up a lot of opportunities. Some of them want to pursue a career in entertainment biz, and some don't.
12號鐘嘉欣嚟自溫哥華。
I can adapt to any situation, and even if they force me to do something that I never learned before, I'm a really fast learner.
溫哥華今年19歲，送朵玫瑰花俾大家。
多謝晒。
It's a show and it's entertainment biz. I understand, even if I don't like it, I have to adapt to it. I'm just gonna try to do what I did in Miss Vancouver, try to get the audience involved.
For Theresa and Christy, winning the pageant got them on the fast track to fame and fortune. In Hong Kong, Linda Chung is now just 1 crown away from jump-starting her entertainment career. But is the Western edge that made Christy and Theresa so popular in the past what the judges and audience are looking for today?
Miss Chinese International Pageant 2004, the winner is...
goes to 12號，嚟自溫哥華嘅鐘嘉欣。
Yeah, at the end, they announced my name. I was in shock. But no, I'm just really happy. I did not know that I would make it this far. Hearing my name being called like Miss International, I'm like, you know what? It's overwhelming.
Linda Chung met with the Vancouver media today. Organizers say the UBC student won the hearts of the 5 judges throughout the pageant, but they particularly enjoyed her self-choreographed hula hoop aerobic dance routine.
Who do you remember when you mentioned the pageant? Christy and a few others, and is it Linda Chung, the new one this year? Let's see how she does. We really don't know. It'll take time, and to see whether they have the staying power, and I think that's the important thing.
There's no use to really plan in advance because in showbiz everything changes last minute. But I really see myself expanding my craft, expanding my career in China, and eventually I'm trying to maybe move up to Beijing. For me, because maybe I was born in the West, I want to go back to my roots. And eventually, I'd like to also have an album out and write a book and open a Vietnamese restaurant. And there's so many things. This showbiz is the sky's the limit.
I'm at another juncture now that I'm pregnant. They could kick me out of the business and say, "Oh, you've had it. You're not cute anymore. You're not interesting to us. You're just another housewife now." Like, who would find that interesting? Or they could again welcome me with open arms, and I'll have another 10 years of revived popularity as a mom or as the next, whatever they see me as, and I could have another career on my hands. I'm sure there'll be some things and surprises that bring me unbelievable joy, like I've had the last 10 years of my life. I've always felt like I was born under a lucky star.
TV.